Hello everyone, happy full moon. Thanks for being here. If you want to say hello in the chat, I would love to see who's joining. Today is a full moon, it's also a super moon, and there's a partial lunar eclipse, so it's a pretty powerful one. And this full moon is in Pisces. And Pisces is a water sign that has qualities like being able to go with the flow of life, being creative, connected to intuition, connected to emotions. And like all traits, these can be both strengths as well as weaknesses if they become out of balance. So for example, being able to go with the flow of life is when you have goals and you still have dreams and you have a plan, but you are open to change happening. You're not being rigid. But if this is out of balance too much, you might not have any plan and you might be living kind of passively and just waiting to see how things happen. And another example is being connected to your emotions and the emotions of other people. When you are picking up on those emotions of other people, it can be great because you have more empathy, you have more compassion. But if you take on too much of other people's emotional baggage, it becomes overwhelming. And so you have to be able to create clear boundaries and give yourself space to kind of determine what is yours and what you're holding on for someone else, and being able to give yourself self-care to build up your capacity to hold space for other people and things like that. So this is going to be a very creative, flowy class where we will be curious with the way we move, but not attached to certain outcomes or the way things should look. We're going to connect to how it feels. And if you have 2 blocks, that would be great. We are going to get started in a Supta Baddha Konasana position if that feels good, or you can just lower onto your back. Either way, laying down. And then if you have the blocks and you want to bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees drop out to the side. The blocks can go underneath to support you. Your hands can rest anywhere that's comfortable, maybe bringing one hand to your belly and one hand towards your rib cage or chest to start to connect with your breath. Feeling your belly expand, your rib cage expand, and your chest lift. And feeling your chest lower, your rib cage soften, and your belly lower. And just feel that ripple of breath throughout your torso. Letting all other worries and thoughts fade away as you focus your awareness on your breath. One more deep breath here. And start to remove the blocks if you have them underneath. Lift your knees up and straighten your legs. Reach your arms up overhead. Take a full body stretch. Lower your arms down beside your hips, bend your knees, bringing your feet flat on the mat, and start to lift your hips up into a bridge pose. With your exhale, lower back down, feeling your spine lower section by section down into the floor. Inhale, tuck your tailbone, lift your low back, your mid back off of the mat, and then exhale, slowly lower back down. Do that a few more times with your breath. Inhale, lifting your hips up into your bridge pose, and exhale, lower back down. One more time. Inhale, lift your hips up, then hold there, and start to make some circles in the air with your pelvis. Holding it in one piece, circle it around in one direction. And start to circle it around in the other direction. Maybe letting your circles get a little bit bigger, a little bit higher, and going a little bit lower each time you go around. Then bring your hips back to center, lift up with one more breath in, and then exhale, roll back down. Take your feet out wide, move the blocks out of the way if they're in the way for some windshield wipers, and then let your knees drop from side to side. Your head might want to rock from side to side as well. Start to move in any way that feels good for your body, listening to your intuition and your inner voice, that inner guidance. Bring your knees back to center, and we'll start to warm up the abdominals. So bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, and then lift your feet off of the ground so you're stacking your knees over your hips. Take a deep breath in, lifting your elbows up towards the ceiling. With your exhale, lift up off of your shoulder blades, drawing your low belly down to lift you up. Press your head back into your hands and try to stay lifted off the shoulder blades as you internally rotate your hips so your feet swing away from each other and the knees press towards each other. Bring your legs back to center. Inhale, lower your shoulders. Exhale, letting all the breath out as you lift up. And internally rotate your hips again, swinging your feet away from each other. Bring your feet back to center. Inhale, lower your shoulders. One more time like that. Exhale, lift up off the shoulder blades. And then internally rotate your hips, swinging the feet away from each other. Back to neutral. Inhale, lower your shoulders. Exhale, lift up off your shoulder blades. This time we'll externally rotate the hips. So keeping your feet towards each other, let your knees move away from each other. And then back to center. Inhale, lower your shoulders. Exhale, lift up off of your shoulder blades. Externally rotate your hips, letting the knees move away from each other, making like a diamond shape. Bring the knees back to center. Inhale, lower your shoulders. One more like that. Exhale, lift up. Make a diamond star shape with your legs. Back to center. Inhale, lower your shoulders. Exhale, lift up off of your shoulders. And this time we'll put the two together. Internally rotate, externally rotate, internally rotate, and externally rotate. Back to center. Inhale, shoulders down. One more time like that. Exhale, lift up. Internally rotate, externally rotate, internally rotate, and externally rotate. Back to center. Inhale, release. Hold on to the tops of your knees and make some circles to massage your low back down into the mat. Start to notice how your back is feeling. And switch the direction of your circles. Again, maybe starting off small and letting your circles get a little bit bigger every time you go around. Begin to guide your knees over to the left as you come into a twist, rolling onto your left side. Reach your right arm out to the side. And if it feels okay for your neck, let your head roll to the right. And maybe it wants to rock side to side a few times first. If there are any little adjustments, any subtle cues that your body is trying to communicate with you, listen to that guidance. Let it be the loudest voice that you hear. Take a few more deep breaths into the side of your rib cage and around your right shoulder, anywhere where you're feeling sensation and you're feeling a stretch. And let it soften and let it go as you exhale. Inhale, really feel into the sensation around the rib cage and around the chest, around the shoulder. And exhale, let it go. And roll back through center and guide your knees over to the right. Reach your left arm out to the side. Make any little adjustments or take any variation that feels good. If you want to rock your head a few times, side to side, and then let it land wherever it wants to. Start to breathe into the sensation that you feel around the left side of the rib cage, maybe around the left shoulder. Softening with your exhales. One more deep breath in. And full breath out. And come back through center. Bring your feet flat on the mat. Arms down beside your hips and lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Start to point and flex your right ankle. One of the areas of the body that Pisces rules are the feet. So starting to notice how your feet feel. And then see if you can cross your big toe over your second toe, maybe crack your toes. See if you can cross your big toe under your second toe. And try to spread your toes as wide as you can. And then relax the toe spread and make some circles with your ankle in one direction. And circle it a few times in the other direction. You can stick with that or try to draw a figure 8 in the air with your foot. Going a few times in one direction, and then see if you can draw it the other direction. You could also draw an infinity symbol instead from side to side rather than up and down. Then relax, flex your ankle, pulling the toes back towards your shin. Start to cross it over your left thigh for a figure 4 stretch. You can stay right here. You could slide a block under your left foot to go a little bit deeper into the stretch, or you could reach behind your left leg. It might feel nice to rock from side to side. So just start to explore some movement in the poses. Being open to exploring new things is one of the ways that we find the magic in life. We discover things that we wouldn't know we enjoy if we hadn't tried it. And start to release the left foot down, release the right foot down, and we'll switch sides, lifting the left leg up towards the ceiling. Begin by pointing and flexing your ankle a few times. And then see if you can cross your big toe over your second toe. See if you can cross it under your second toe. Try to spread your toes as wide apart as you can. Relax the toe spread. Circle your ankle in one direction. Circle it the other direction. You can always stick with that or challenge yourself to try a figure 8. It's a little bit of a mental challenge as well. Then switch the direction. Flex your ankle, cross it over your right thigh. Figure 4 stretch. You could stay right here. Notice how it feels around the left hip. Or start to go a little bit deeper, finding your edge where you feel sensation, you feel a stretch, but it's not too intense. And feel free to find some movement side to side, or even in your spine, rounding and relaxing. Take about one more deep breath. And then relax the right foot down, release the left foot down. Bring your hands behind your knees and start to rock and roll, massaging the length of your spine. Do that a few times, trying to smooth out the movement, just like you did in your bridge rolls. Last one. And we'll come up and around into a seated position, crossing one leg in front of the other, or anything that feels comfortable. We're going to focus on the upper body, dropping your chin to your chest, and then lifting your chin up towards the ceiling. Drop your chin to your chest, lift your chin up to the ceiling. One more like that, chin to chest, and lift your chin up. Then bring your head back to center. Start to twist to look over one shoulder and twist to look over the other shoulder. Bring your head back to center, drop your ear to your shoulder, and then lift it up and over to the other side. A few times, lifting up and over. And then pause with your ear to your shoulder. Start to roll your chin down to your chest. Bring your other ear to your shoulder, making a half circle, chin to chest, ear to shoulder, chin to chest, ear to shoulder. You can stick with a half circle or take it into a full circle. And you might start off small. Imagine drawing a circle in the air with your nose, and then let that circle become a little bit bigger every time you go around, so you're drawing a spiral. And switch the direction of your circles, again starting off small, drawing a circle in the air with your nose, and let it get a little bit bigger, like a swirling galaxy in the sky. And chin to chest, lift your head back up to center. Start to roll your shoulders up to your ears, back, down, forward, and around. And switch the direction of your circles, rolling your shoulders forward, down, squeezing together, up and around. Good, relax your shoulders. Begin to find seated cat-cow as you inhale. Rock forward on your pelvis, tipping it forward, and then shine your heart center forward. Lift your chin. Exhale, round your back. Tuck your tailbone, rocking back on your pelvis. Inhale forward. Exhale, round. Inhale forward. Exhale, round. Okay, let's take it into some circles. So start to slide your rib cage over to the right and lean towards your right sit bone. And then come through that seated cat pose, rounding your back, tucking your chin. Slide your rib cage over to the left, forward, and around. Circling your pelvis, circling your rib cage, circling your head and your neck. And don't worry about what it looks like, but start to tune into how it feels. And switch the direction of your circles. And then come back through center. From here, let's come into a tabletop position. And if you'd like, you can move your blocks to the top of the mat so that they're ready to go if you want them later. And then bringing your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, start to move between a full cat and cow. Inhale, tipping the tailbone, or tipping the pelvis forward, lifting the tailbone. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, scoop the chest forward. Exhale, push the floor away. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And feel free to take that into some intuitive movement. Maybe you want to rock your hips side to side. Maybe you want to circle the pelvis and the head. Good. Come back through center. Take your knees out wide and find a few bear circles, shifting forward to the right, back to the left, and around. Switch the direction of your circles. Good, then come back through center. Tuck your toes under, start to lift up and back into a downward facing dog. And find a little bit of movement in your down dog. Pedaling out the legs by bending and straightening your knees. Maybe shaking your hips, shaking your shoulders, shaking your head. Start to walk your feet forward to the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold. And take your feet out nice and wide. Soften your knees. If it feels okay, hold on to opposite elbows to give a little more weight to lengthen your back here. Start to sway from side to side. Sway forward and back. Try making a little figure 8. See if you can do it in the other direction. Give your head a shake side to side and forward and back. And then while we're down here, let's just give a little rub to the lower legs, the ankles, and down towards the feet. Toe heel your feet to about hip width distance apart, and with your next inhale, slowly start to roll all the way up to standing. Stacking your spine, roll the shoulders back and down. Take a deep breath in. And with your exhale, tuck your chin to your chest and slowly come back down. But stop when you're about halfway or maybe a little bit higher than halfway. The legs are still straight, and start to sway your upper body from side to side. Letting your arms dangle, letting your head hang heavy. And then bring your torso back through center, go just a little bit lower, and do the same thing, exploring some side to side movement. See how it feels in your back. Then continue to go all the way down, bending your knees to bring your hands all the way down to the mat. Step your feet back into a high plank. And take a few deep breaths here, pushing the floor away with your hands, feeling the strength around your shoulders, your whole core, keeping the back of your head and neck lifted. Let's lower the knees down and slowly lower with control all the way down to the mat. When you get there, take a cobra pose. Inhale, pressing your pubic bone down, lift your chest, using your back muscles to lift you up. Exhale, relax down. One more time like that. Inhale, lift your chest, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Then this time, take your hands out wide, coming onto your fingertips. Lift your elbows up. Hug the shoulder blades towards each other a little bit and start to roll through your spine, letting your head and neck be the last thing that lifts. Then exhale, lower back down. Inhale, rolling cobra, lifting, rolling through your spine. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, rolling cobra. Exhale, lower down. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders and start to press yourself up and back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees and make your way to the top of the mat into a forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach up. Exhale, pause for a moment with your hands at heart center. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, make your way back to high plank. And then lower down. You can lower your knees first or lower down in one piece, coming all the way to the mat. Take your hands out wide onto your fingertips. Inhale, rolling cobra. Exhale, roll back down. One more inhale, lift. And exhale down. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders, press back up into downward facing dog. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Make your way forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to high plank. Lower all the way down to the mat. Take your hands out wide, fingertip cobra, roll up, inhale, exhale down. One more inhale, lift, exhale down. Hands under your shoulders, press back up into a tabletop position this time. So walk your knees in, underneath your hips, wrists underneath your shoulders. And we'll come into a rolling tabletop position. So you're gonna swing your right foot off of the mat as you extend your left leg back, coming into a modified side plank on the right with the left arm reaching up. Then the left arm is going to reach to the front of the room. And then start to lower that hand down, dropping your left knee, swing your left foot off of the mat, extend your right leg back, reach the right arm up, circle it forward, reaching, lower the right hand down. And continue to do that, dropping the right knee down, swinging the foot off the mat, stepping the left leg back, circle the left arm up and around. Lower the left hand down, left knee down, step the right foot back, reach up and over with the right arm. Do that a few more times, moving with your breath and making it your own expression. Good, let's do one more on each side. And then come back into tabletop. Step your feet back into a high plank, push the floor away, and lift your right knee up towards your belly. Inhale, lift it back and up into a three-legged down dog. Exhale, shifting forward, rounding your upper back, bringing your knee towards your nose. Inhale, three-legged down dog, lift it back and up. One more time, exhale, rounding your back, bringing your knee to your nose. Inhale, three-legged down dog. Hold here. Bend your right knee and circle your hip a few times in one direction. And then circle it a few times in the other direction. Maybe play with how it feels to stack the hips, turning your pelvis open to the right, stacking right hip over the left. And then bring your leg back to center. Inhale, three-legged down dog. Exhale, take a big step to the top of the mat. Lower your left knee down. You might grab your blocks. We're going to transition between low lunge and half splits. So you could have your hands on blocks. You could also wiggle your right foot over to the right side so that you have more space for your torso to come forward. And blocks could also be under your hands here. We're going to transition between this low lunge and then start to pull the hips back, coming into half splits, flexing the right ankle. And don't worry too much about bringing the right leg all the way straight, just feeling the sensation in the back of the right leg. And then coming forward into your low lunge, start to move your spine between a little cat and cow. So as you come forward, cow pose, lifting your chest. And as you go back into your half splits, round your back, tuck your chin. Inhale, scoop your chest forward, low lunge. And then exhale, round your back. Let all the breath out. Inhale, scooping your chest forward. Exhale, push the floor away. One more time, inhale forward. And exhale back. Good, come forward into your low lunge. Tuck the back toes to lift your left knee, and then wiggle your right foot back to center if it was over to the right side of the mat. Dragonfly twist from here. The left hand will stay down, either on the mat or on a block. And the right arm will reach up for your twist. Let's circle the right arm, or the right wrist rather, a few times in the air. Go the other direction. And then with your next exhale, start to reach your right hand through between your legs back towards your inner left thigh. Tuck your chin into your chest and push the left hand down into the floor and the right foot down into the floor. Inhale, reach the right arm back up into your twist. Exhale, reach the right arm through for the inner left thigh. Inhale, lift and twist. One more time, exhale, reach it through. Inhale, lift and twist. Good, lower your right hand down and start to turn to the left. You can take your blocks with you under your hands if you'd like. We're coming into a wide leg forward fold. Relaxing your torso, your head, and your neck. Give your head a little shake side to side. And just start to sway your torso. Maybe imagining there's a magnet on the side of your rib cage and it's kind of pulling you in one direction, and then a magnet on the other side of your rib cage pulling you the other direction. And start to add a little side lunge, bending your right knee as you sway to the right, bending your left knee, sway to the left. Getting into the inner hips. Bring your hips back to center, soften your knees, and roll all the way up to standing. When you get there, come into a goddess squat with your toes turned out a little, your heels in. Just let it be kind of an easy squat, making sure you're not turned out too much so you're steady here. We're going to start to move the arms because Pisces also rules the lymphatic system. And so by moving the arms, we're going to get into the lymph nodes around the, under the armpits. So you're going to take your arms out to the side and then start to kind of bounce your knees as you swing your arms, crossing one in front of the other, and then opening your arms out to the side. You can alternate which arm crosses behind each time. Maybe starting off kind of gentle, kind of small, and then let it get bigger. The more it becomes comfortable, the more your body starts to warm up. About 2 more breaths here. And inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands down to heart center and just pause. Notice how you feel. Pisces is very intuitive, and part of that is being connected to the third eye center, which takes in all of your experiences, your past. It kind of analyzes the present and the future to make the best decisions for us. So taking a moment to pause and to feel. And bring your hands down to your legs, bending your knees. Slide your hands down towards your knees. And take a little twist, dipping your right shoulder down towards the center and looking over your left shoulder. Then lower your torso down through center, lifting the right shoulder up and dipping the left shoulder down. Lower your torso, making like a half circle, lifting the left shoulder up, right shoulder down. And one more time, down and up to the other side. And then bring your torso back down. Roll back up to standing. Reach your arms up into a 5-pointed star and turn your toes so that your feet are either parallel or maybe toes in a little bit. Nice and steady. Start to fold forward, keeping your legs as straight as you'd like. As you sweep your arms down and add just a little pulse of your torso, crossing your arms and then lifting your arms up. Fold forward, a little pulse of your torso and lift up. I imagine I'm like scooping up some stars and throwing them into the sky. Folding forward, scoop it up, throw it into the sky. One more time. Good, and then forward fold, stay here. Turn to the top of the mat, turning your toes as you go. And set up for a warrior one, bringing your back foot at about a 45-degree angle. Your right foot facing the front of the mat, rise all the way up. And just make sure your feet are on 2 separate lanes. Nice and steady here. We're going to start to move in this warrior one. So bring your hands down and start to press the left hand forward, the right arm back. And then come back through center, lifting your torso. Bring the hands up around your shoulders. And then straighten your front leg as you open up into a twist, reaching left arm back, right arm forward. Rebend your front knee as you unwind and press the left hand forward, right arm back. We'll do that a few times, so take it slow to begin with until it feels somewhat natural to do. Rebend your front knee, reach the left arm forward, straighten the front knee, open up and twist. Bend your knee, press it forward, and twist. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale as you open into your twist. Good, let's do one more. Inhale and exhale. Come back to your warrior one, reaching both arms up, and then step your back foot forward. Sit back into an easy chair pose. So just a soft bend of your knees. Lower your arms down beside your hips. And again, we're going to get some arm movement to get into the lymphatic system. So we're going to swing the arms forward with the palms facing down, and then let the arms swing back, keeping the hands in the same position. A little bounce of your knees as you swing the arms forward and back. Again, starting nice and easy with the arms coming up maybe to about the shoulders. And then once it starts to feel more natural, you can make a bigger swing of the arms, reaching up and reaching back. Okay, take about 2 more breaths. Then inhale, reach your arms up, straightening your legs. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Interlace your fingers, press the palms forward as you round your back, tuck your chin. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, open your arms out to the side. One more time, inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Switch the way you interlace your fingers as you press the palms forward, round your back. Inhale, lift your chest, reach your arms up. Exhale, release your arms out to the side. And then inhale, reach your arms out and up. As you shift the weight into your left foot, lift your right knee up to about hip height in a one-legged balance. And then step it back into a high crescent lunge. The back knee can soften. Just notice how it feels around the right hip flexors. From here, we'll start to open the arms out to the side and then reach forward, bringing the hands together or towards each other like you're holding something, and then reaching up. Open your arms out to the side, leaning forward into a tilted crescent lunge. Reach the arms forward and up. Open the arms out to the side as you come back into your high lunge. Reach forward and maybe imagine picking up the moon, placing the full moon in the sky, and then releasing your arms back. Reach forward, pick up the moon, lift it up into the sky, and release. One more time, inhale, forward, and exhale, release. Come back into your high crescent lunge, reaching the arms up, and then turn to the right, facing the long edge of the mat. From here, we'll come into a side lunge to the right. So bend your right knee and swing your arms so that the right arm is reaching up and the left arm comes across your chest, also reaching the same direction. Sitting your hips back into space. We're gonna lift up, straighten the right leg and swing the arms to the left, up to the right, and around, looking up to the left. And then swing the arms around the other direction to the right, up to the left. Rebend the right knee in your side lunge. Maybe you look up to the right. Lift up, circle the arms over to the left. Reverse, circling the arms to the right, coming into your side lunge. Start to pick up the pace once it feels natural and once you get the rhythm down. I had a lot of visualizations for this practice. So for this, I imagined like a shooting star taking off as I reach up. Pew! Good, one more time. Coming down into your lunge and shooting your star. Come back through center, 5-pointed star. Turn the toes in a little bit, heels out as you come down into your wide leg forward fold. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Then lift up onto your fingertips as you turn to the top of the mat and step your left foot back into a high plank. Lower all the way down to your belly, however you want to get there. Take your hands out wide for your fingertip cobra. Roll through your spine. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, roll through your spine. Lifting up. Exhale, roll back down. Let's add a little twist this time. Inhale, lift. And as you exhale, twist to the left, bringing your right shoulder towards center. Inhale, back up. Exhale, a little twist to the right, tapping the left shoulder down towards center. Inhale, lift. One more time each side. Exhale, right shoulder to center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left shoulder to center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, relax your chest back down. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders and press yourself up and back towards a child's pose just for a moment. So keep reaching your arms forward. And then roll through your spine, rounding through cat pose, shifting your shoulders over your wrists, lower back down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, relax. Press your hands down, lift up and back towards your child's pose. And then roll through your spine, rippling forward through cat pose into your modified plank, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down. Last one, press back into your child's pose. And then this time, roll up to seated, coming into a hero's pose. And you're welcome to add a block underneath between your legs to sit on if the weight on the tops of your ankles doesn't feel good. We'll pause here for a few breaths before we take it on the other side, finding our gaze at our third eye center, our center of intuition. And when you look at this point, this energy center, you don't want to cross your eyes to imagine you're looking right at the center of your forehead, or it might give you a headache. So what you want to do is take your hand out in front of you with your thumb pointing up, and then lift your hand up a little bit. Looking at your thumb, imagine you're still looking at your thumb as you close your eyes. And that is how you want to gaze at your third eye center. So it's actually looking at a point a little bit further in front of you. So focus on that energy center, taking a few breaths, maybe visualizing a light shining from your third eye center. invite you to repeat to yourself the affirmation, I trust my intuition and my inner wisdom. And just notice how it feels to say that. Sometimes if an affirmation is more challenging to say, it might be something we need to work on. And seeing if you can trust yourself without having all the answers. Blink your eyes open, and we'll start to take it on the other side. So coming forward into your tabletop position to begin, you'll swing your left foot off of the mat to the left side as you extend your right leg back, circle your right arm back, up, forward, and around, lifting the right side of your rib cage up by pushing down into the left hand and really reaching forward with the right arm. Drop the right knee down, sweep the left arm back, up, and around. Do that a few times, finding your own rhythm, making it your own by taking any other little variations or making tweaks to it. Let's do one more on each side. And then come back down into your tabletop position. Step back into a high plank and then lift your left knee up towards your belly and really push the floor away. Inhale, lift it back into up, three-legged down dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged down dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged down dog, stay here. Bend your knee and circle your left hip around in one direction and circle it around in the other direction. Maybe play with stacking your left hip over your right, turning your pelvis. Come back through center, lift the left leg, three-legged down dog, inhale. Exhale, take a big step to the top of the mat, dropping your right knee down. And again, blocks can be really nice into your hands, or maybe toe heel your left foot over to the left side. You can tuck the right toes under to lift your right knee and slide it a little bit further back. Start to shift between your half splits, shifting your hips back, lifting the left toes off of the mat, and forward into your low lunge. And just ease your way into it. Take your time. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale, round your back, push the floor away, lift up between the shoulder blades. Inhale, scoop the chest forward. Exhale. Inhale, like you're popping out of a little hole in the ground, lifting your head up towards the sky, and then exhale, dipping back down into the hole. Inhale, scooping up, lift up. Exhale, round. One more time, inhale forward and exhale back. Okay, come forward into your low lunge. We'll bring the left foot to center if it's over to the left side. Lift the back knee, right hand on the mat or a block as you reach your left arm up for your twist. Dragonfly twist. With your exhale, start to reach your left arm through between your legs towards your inner right thigh. Push the floor away with your right hand, round your back, tuck your chin. Inhale, sweep your arm up into your twist. Exhale, reach it back. Inhale, lift and twist. Exhale, reach it back. One more time, inhale and exhale. Back into your dragonfly twist, lower your left hand down and start to turn to the right, facing the long edge of the mat. Pause here in your wide leg forward fold and just begin to sway your torso from side to side, using our obliques. But maybe it helps to visualize a magnet pulling you to the right, pulling you to the left, from the rib cage, leading you side to side. And start to add your knees bending as you sway from side to side, getting into the inner hips with your side lunges. And come back through center. Soften your knees, roll all the way up to standing. Come into your goddess squat, turning your toes out a little bit, heels in. Open your arms out wide and start to pulse, slightly lifting and lowering, finding a little bounce of your knees as you swing your arms out to the side and then cross one in front of the other. Steady breath in and out through your nose, letting your movement become a little bit bigger each time. One more breath. Then inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands down to heart center and pause for a moment. Feel your heart beating, feel your breath flowing, the energy moving through your body. And take your hands down to your legs as you bend your knees again. Taking a twist, drop your left shoulder down towards the middle of the mat, gazing over your right shoulder, and then drop down to center, bending both elbows. Lift with your left shoulder as you twist to the left. And then drop back down through center, lifting and twisting to the right. Drop through center and to the left. Good, drop back through center. Roll all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up, 5-pointed star, and turn your feet so they're parallel or toes turned in a little bit. With your exhale, forward fold, keeping the legs straight, scooping up the stars and then spreading them out into the sky. Forward fold, scoop it up and lift. Exhale, forward fold, inhale through 5-pointed star. A few more like that. Exhale and inhale. Good, one more time. And we'll hold forward fold, come all the way down. Turn to the top of the mat, turning your toes as you go. Setting up for warrior one, back foot at about a 45-degree angle. Rise all the way up and just take a moment to settle into your warrior one, make any little adjustments. And start to lower your hands down towards your shoulders and press and reach through the right arm. And then imagine you're pulling something towards you as you bring the right hand in, straighten your front leg, and reach back, twisting from your core. Draw the low belly in to twist back, reach back with the right hand. Then re-bend your right knee, push forward with your right hand, and then pull it back, reaching the right hand back, the left arm forward. Do that a few times. You can start to speed it up once you have the movement pattern. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale as you reach back. One more time. Then come back into your warrior one. And step your back foot forward, sitting back into your easy chair pose, just a little bend of your knees. Lower your arms down beside your hips, and we'll start to find that pulse, swinging the arms forward and back, bouncing the knees. Noticing how it feels, feeling the steadiness of your feet supporting you on the ground, feeling the lightness of your arms floating up and down. Take about 2 more breaths here. And then inhale, reach your arms up, straighten your legs. Exhale, hands to heart center. Interlace your fingers around your back as you press the palms forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release your arms down beside your hips. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Interlace your fingers around your upper back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Then inhale, reach your arms out and up as you lift your left foot off of the ground, coming into a one-legged balance. And then take a step back with your left foot into a high crescent lunge, back heels lifted. You can soften the back knee. Settle into your high crescent lunge. Then start to open the arms out wide. Reach forward. Imagine you're picking up the moon, placing it up into the sky, and then releasing your arms out to the side. Reaching forward, scoop up the moon, lift it up, and release. A few more like that. Inhale and exhale. Reaching forward and up. Exhale. 2 more. Good, then straighten your front leg and turn to the left, facing the long edge of the mat in a 5-pointed star. We're gonna come into our side lunge. So bending your left knee this time, the arms will reach to the left, and then press to straighten as you circle the arms over to the right, up and around, looking past your right fingertips, and then circle to the left, up, sweeping down into your side lunge, and then circle the arms around, circle the other way, start to find your rhythm. Sending your shooting stars off into the sky. Pew. 2 more. Good, last one. Then come back through center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, wide leg forward fold. This time we come up onto your fingertips and we're gonna come down into a seated twist. So you'll start to turn to the top of the mat and then continue to turn to the right as you bend your knees and lower your seat down so that your right knee is maybe crossed in front or stacked on top of your left knee. And you can also just cross your legs in an easy seated pose if that feels better. You could kick the bottom leg straight. We're going to bring the hands either to the feet or just beside your hips as you start to circle your chest. Forward, to the right, back, to the left, and around. And circle it a few times in the other direction. And come back through center. Reach your left arm up and over for a side stretch. And then start to reach forward with your left arm as you come through forward fold over your legs. And then continue to make a circle around so that your right arm is reaching to the left in a side stretch and lift it all the way up. Do that a few more times. Lowering right hand down, left arm reaches up and over, and then forward and around, reaching right arm to the left and up. We'll stay with this side, reaching over to the right, forward, to the left, up and around. One more time. And lift back up through center. Good. From here, we'll unwind and take it to the other side. So you'll start to lift your hips up and turn to the left towards the back of the mat and keep turning, dropping your knees down. You'll be facing the same direction with your left knee stacked over your right knee this time, or in front of. And start with some chest circles. And if that didn't make sense, then just find your way into your seated twist or your easy seated pose. Not getting too upset with how you get there. And switch the direction of your circles. And come back through center. We'll start to take our side stretch, reaching the right arm up and over to the left. And then reach it forward. Dropping the right hand down, reach the left arm over. Reach the right arm up and over. Circle it forward. Dragging your arms on the ground, then sweep the left arm up and over, right arm up, forward and around. Good, take that about 2 more times. Inhale, lifting, and exhale, folding. Good, last one. And then come back through center. From here, we're going to just unwrap the legs and take it out into a straddle so that your legs are nice and wide. I'm going to turn towards you. Legs out nice and wide and start to fold forward to any degree. Hands can come down, forearms can come down. You could have blocks under your forearms. And again, tuning into how it feels. Try to detach from any specific outcome. Just becoming an observer of your experience. And trusting the process of how things unfold. As we hold here a little bit longer, really feeling into the hip stretch. Oftentimes our emotions have a connection to the tension that we hold in our hips. So just start to feel the sensation there and notice if any emotions come up, or just notice any emotions that you are holding on to. And maybe you can distinguish between what are yours to hold and what you're holding for other people, or sometimes for a collective. And we want to allow ourselves to feel and to experience those emotions, but then also be able to let them go when you're ready. So try to feel it. And then let it go. Feel it with your inhales. And let it go with your exhales. Take one more breath here. And start to press yourself back up. Swing your legs to the top of the mat. And lower down onto your back. We'll come into a little Shavasana to finish our practice. If there's any other last movement that your body's craving, feel free to find that before you settle in. And we'll just be here for a few moments to again find that contemplative part of Pisces where we process our experiences. It's really helpful to be able to find stillness and silence to do that. With your next inhale, start to bend your knees, bringing your feet flat on the mat. Maybe hug your knees in towards your belly. Rock gently side to side. And roll all the way onto one side, pressing yourself up and around to a seated position. And then now that we've moved through this practice and we've slowed down enough to connect with our body, to calm our nervous system, to connect with our intuition, it's a really great time. Plus the energy of the full moon in Pisces, it's a great time to do some self-reflection questions. So I'll share a few in the chat. They're also down in the description below that you can use to get your thought process going and reflect on this full moon experience. All right. So the first question is, what boundaries do I need to establish to protect my peace and prevent feeling overstimulated? So again, Pisces has a really good ability to, or anyone, you might have a really good ability to feel empathy and compassion for other people, but if you take on too much, you're holding on to all of this baggage, not only your own emotional baggage, but other people's, and maybe like family baggage and emotions. And so how can you establish boundaries so that it doesn't become overwhelming for you? And that might be as simple as taking some time to care for yourself, or not spending time with certain people, or limiting time with certain people. Or if you have to spend time with people who you feel like drain you, maybe just imagining like a barrier around yourself where their energy isn't going to cross, and you're not going to take it on. So that's the first question. The second one is, what's my initial reaction to an intuitive nudge? So how do you react to those little bits of wisdom that your body is telling you to do? Sometimes it might be easy to follow your intuition, and sometimes it's really challenging. One example I think of is, I've heard a lot of birth stories, and when women are giving birth, usually their intuition is very strong. And when you're in like a hospital setting, for example, there are processes in place, there are more authority figures who have done this a lot, and you might feel like, well, this is my first time and this is like how I feel, but I'm not experienced in it, or maybe I don't know what's best. And so you might listen to an authority figure or the hospital instead of listening to that intuitive nudge. So examples like that, or any time that maybe you're also just even in like a yoga class setting, when everyone's doing something, it feels like, oh, I should do that too, even if your body is telling you not to. And then the third question is, how can I embrace the flow of life with more ease, letting go of control and trusting the process? So again, we want to have dreams and goals and a plan set in place, but also allow for things to change and be okay with that, and know that we might discover new things and new possibilities that we didn't even think were possible if we allow ourselves to kind of stray away from that plan, or just redirect the plan, and that not everything has to happen with so much structure. And I think one area that I've really focused on letting go of control over is time. Like, time can be so stressful to always be on a schedule. And of course, I like to be sensitive of other people's time and use my time wisely. But when we get so caught up in this idea of time, we don't allow for this natural flow to happen of, well, maybe it's okay to put something off a little bit longer, or maybe it's okay if we're a little bit late, and if it's not going to stress you out, it's probably a lot better. So I hope you enjoyed this practice. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box, or reply later if you're watching the replay, in the comments. Yeah, and I hope you have a wonderful full moon in Pisces. If you enjoyed this practice, please like and subscribe to my new YouTube channel. And if you want more classes, you can visit my website, moonphaseyoga.com, which aligns the yoga practice to our menstrual cycle, where we're changing throughout the month, just the same way that the moon changes. And there's a specific way to practice to best support your body throughout those changes. So check it out, moonphaseyoga.com. Thank you so much for joining me today.